kind introduction. Mr. Chairman of the All Ceylon Union of Muslim League Youth Front, and Mr. Salih Piri, President of the Council, Mr. Zubair, former MP, Mr. Honorable Imitiaz Bakir Makar, and also re-entered Honorable my friend Mujibur, and members of the Diplomatic Corps and friends. In March 2024, a panel appointed by the government of Sri Lanka on AI, artificial intelligence, submitted the report to the President of Sri Lanka. So it's a white paper on the rollout of or development of a AI policy for Sri Lanka. So the document was not a policy paper, but it was a white paper. And that particular committee comprised 29 members, including a Bakir Makar, who was Adil Bakir Makar. His name is in the list of 29 experts. So I should not be here speaking about artificial intelligence. He should be another Bakir Makar who should be here. So I was going through the list. I was shocked to see the Bakir Makar family was there. It was, it was Fadil. Fadil's name is there. So what I want to say, the government has allocated 1.5 billion rupees in the 2024 budget for artificial intelligence implementation in Sri Lanka through establishing a national AI center and make Sri Lanka a digital landmark in Asia by 2030. I'm no more the spokesman of the government, but I'm just telling what's happening in Sri Lanka in the AI sector, artificial intelligence. Because AI is not a bad thing. If you use it ethically and effectively, it's a tool that you can use for the betterment of the society. In the medical sector, in the transportation sector, in the aviation sector. So these are extremely important sectors that AI can be used for the betterment of the human being. But the problem we are talking today, because we have clustered artificial intelligence, disinformation, and deepfake as a bad element to democracy. The problem is in the technology. I am not an expert. I am not a technology expert at all. I am from the media sector. But what we have understood is the wrong use of technology is getting widespread than the good use, especially among the media. That is the challenge we are facing. So, unethical use of technology is affecting democracy in a big way. The ethical conduct of technology you can see in other sectors. But when it comes to information and media, messaging, the technology is used in a wrong way, unethical way. But don't forget the fact, technology cannot work on its own. There is a human being behind this technology. So the problem is not with the technology, the problem is with the human being who is behind this technology. So that again, we are going back to the human aspect of technology. Every misuse of technology is being done by a human being, a person behind this technology, including the nuclear science. In this entire concept of democracy, we find this wrong use of technology, wrong use of the concepts, the tools of technology is becoming a major issue. Now, if you look at the ongoing elections in India, it's still on, the 18th parliamentary elections of India, the political parties have invested, in average, 20% of their campaign financing into artificial intelligence. 20%. That's a huge amount. That's a massive amount. So if you are ready to invest on technology, 20% of your campaign, that could rise by 2030 more than 50%. So technology is becoming the tool now. Why? You can reach individual voter. Now, for these politicians, what is the biggest challenge at the upcoming election? How you get the message to the individual person. So you might go house to house campaigns, you will do massive rallies. No need anymore. How did Imran Khan did massive rallies in Pakistan when he is in the jail? Millions gathered around him on TikTok, virtual. And here Imran Khan speaking on your mobile phone, to you, personally to you. So you don't need to do massive campaigns, deploying thousands of buses, transporting people from Molaragala to Colombo in buses, giving lot of money to the bus owners and giving every passenger some money and food. No need. Just get into his mobile phone through a technology and give the message. You save money. So this is a simple logic, and this simple logic is being employed everywhere in Asia, including in our neighboring countries. So we know what has happened in Pakistan, because Pakistan became a role model. I'm repeating this in every stage, Mr. Salih Piris, because the campaign by Mr. Imran Khan was a role model to many of us in Asia, because his party ran the campaign entirely on technology, majorly on using artificial intelligence, addressing every candidate and suppressing every effort by the military regime to block him by contesting. And it was a success story. Major success story. He addressed the nation while in the jail through creation of avatar. Now, even in Indian elections, during the thick of campaigning, this big actor, Amir Khan came to every single phone with a message calling not to vote for Mr. Modi because he betrayed some election pledges. He didn't deliver. Amir Khan will dare not talk against Mr. Modi because it was a deep fake created by artificial intelligence. Then Amir Khan was so shocked because he knows within 24 hours he will be in trouble if he doesn't deny this. So he had to deny. So there was another actor with the same message. So these deep fakes are extremely disturbing democracy because the technology is used in a wrong way. But these companies who are doing this artificial intelligence, they have this ethical codes, confidentiality agreements when you do that. But when you do this voice cloning or avatar creations, all these norms are violated. So that's what's happening in now in even India, because now only we are talking about artificial intelligence. But Indian elections in 2014, that was the first artificial intelligence campaign in Asia by Mr. Modi. Any political camp should learn Mr. Modi's use of technology. This old seasoned politician, how we use the technology and how we mobilize youth. Maybe not for good, but how he does it. That's the art. So this has created massive momentum in India. Sure, we all know, I don't think majority of us we don't agree with his politics, the way he treat democracy at large, but how he function, how he deliver on technology, how many volunteers he has to disseminate messaging. It's a digital army he is having to use technology. I'm sure these things will definitely replicate in Sri Lanka, because if you compare a lot of Indian elections for the last 10 years are exactly blueprinted here. I don't know how. A team of us were studying the election campaigns by BJP for the last 15 years in India. And if you compare them with Sri Lankan, some political camps here, those are exactly the blueprints to create a national hero. How you create a national hero? So we are passing that transition period, extremely vulnerable, sensitive transition period, because if you take the 2019 Easter bombing, that exactly happened during this time. What do you mean by this time? 6 months before the election, and also coinciding with Indian elections, in the midst of Indian elections. I'm not pointing finger at anyone. I'm just giving you parallels. The Easter bombing happened exactly in the midst of Indian elections, and 6 months before our elections. So we are passing through a very sensitive time. But I don't think the old storybook of creating a demon among Muslim societies is no more valid in Sri Lanka. It has gone. Whatever said and done, Aragale has done it best to create unity among this society. That's a major achievement. It's extremely difficult to create that demon or rift between Sinhalese and Muslims. So you need to find a new enemy to create a hero. So there were some instances for the last 3 months to create a new enemy, especially surrounding, again, Hindu community. We have seen the Kurundi temple issue. We have seen another Vaunia, the Hindu temple issue, where the priest was arrested on the Mahashivaratri day. So the same logic continues in a different language to create another enemy, to find another national hero. So we are passing through that period. That will be definitely using technology as well, creating disinformation, creating deep fake. So next 5 to 6 months, today the Election Commission announced the dates, the duration of the election. So that's a formality. Now that we know the presidential election is coming for sure, at least. So that's a confirmation. So with this, we don't expect a very rosy path for elections, very hunky-dory process for elections. That will be really, really challenging, because there's a tough game. And these elections are going to be with two components. Number one, protest vote. Number two, frustrated vote. In 2019, it was only a protest vote. But this time it will be a frustrated vote also. But we know none of the candidate will get a clear majority. So there will be a tough game to every political party. So deep fake, disinformation will be extremely heavy in this election. Election Commission, we had a big event yesterday to help the Election Commission in developing media guidelines, Madhya Upamana. So they are supposed to announce media guidelines when the elections are announced. So we had about 100 people attended stakeholder consultation. And the Election Commissioner General was very explicit about its capacity. So we are talking about artificial intelligence, deep fake, disinformation at elections. And on top of that, you have Campaign Financing Act. where you are supposed to collect all these financing, including advertisements in media. They are supposed to monitor. If I'm correct, if the local government elections were held, they were supposed to get more than 800,000 reports on campaign financing. So who has the capacity to monitor 800,000 reports by the Election Commission? So you are entirely overloaded with responsibilities, but what is their capacity to track artificial intelligence, to track technological misbehavior, to track disinformation, to track campaign financing, and to deal with these big tech companies? If I am not mistaken, the Commissioner General himself, during the speech, in open public, he said, if we have 500 computers, 250 are broken. And the working 250 also more than 20 years old. So this is the condition of the state entity that has to ensure free and fair elections in the midst of these technological advancements. You can't blame this institution. And most of the skilled human resources have migrated from the Election Commission or gone out of the Election Commission. So it's huge dilemma that Election Commission is facing. So we are ready to help them. So we are in discussion with the Election Commission to help as much as we can. One of the issues Mrs. Alia Piris and Mrs. Zuhair, the Commission mentioned, was about their legal interventions, because Mr. Pakisodi Saravanan raised this issue during the discussion about being strong institution, being independent, be brave to take decisions. Then the Commissioner General said, yes, we can be brave, but if we brave enough and if you are challenged in the courts, we were represented by the Attorney General. So our independence is gone there. Okay. Number one. Number two, and if the Attorney General refused to appear for us, then we have to go for private lawyers. And we know we don't have funds for that. And some bills are still pending from previous legal interventions, he said. So we cannot cripple down Election Commission like this. If the Attorney General is not willing to appear for Election Commission, we should have Mrs. Zuhair or Mrs. Alia Piris appearing for them, at least from a by association perspective. As an institution, we should have pro bono systems to help them. I mean, this is how we have to collaborate for free and fair elections. Independent institutions does not mean you are not allowed to collaborate with civil society. No, you have to. Independent decisions are made. So I'm just giving you the context in Sri Lanka. I'm not going to take much of your time anymore, but I just want to allow my Muslim brothers and sisters that we are going to face a very critical election, very sensitive time. We have to learn from the past. The recent past is 2019. So let's learn from that and let any force, political, local or international, to create division among us and to create tension among us. It's gone. Don't try it even for a second. We need a new Sri Lanka. With technology or without technology, amidst all these developments, we need a new Sri Lanka. We need good leaders. Leaders who unite this country. We tested one who want to divide this country, and thankfully he has to run away after 2.5 years. So it proved that we cannot divide this country. We cannot allow this. Done. Finish. So Muslim youth, my Muslim friends, we have to develop a new Sri Lanka. We need a new country. And let's request our political party leaders to send us good, clean politicians for us to vote. Not the same old recipe we need. We need new youth. You were talking about the youth, and even here, I was reading Ms. Imitia's last year message. You were talking about 25% representation of youth and how old our political generation is. It was J.R. Jayawardhan who decided to appoint a young Secretary General to the party in 1982. When he picked up this new Secretary General, he was only 28 years old. Can you imagine one single party in Sri Lanka now who will choose a youth of 28 years old to lead the party as a General Secretary? It was Harsha Abeyewardena. Harsha was only 28 when he was selected as General Secretary of the biggest party of Sri Lanka, United National Party. Can we ever think of it? So we are continuing that legacy. We need youth to take this lead. And I congratulate this Founders Day. Thank you for inviting me. Let's repeat the requests for a new Sri Lanka with very solid young leadership. Thank you.